Morning. This is Motivation, Morning Money Motivation. And my name is Greg Nelson. I'm a sales trainer, sales coach. I'm based out of the Pacific Northwest, all the way up in the upper left part of the US continental map. I've been an automotive sales professional and a sales professional for over 20 years. The past 6 years, I have been a sales training manager, if you will. And most recently, I've gone out on my own, started my own sales training and coaching company, and became a Grant Cardone licensee. I've been certified by Grant's team to teach, coach, and train Grant's 10X sales coaching and sales training material. It was about 10 years ago. I remember I was the first half of my career, I was just pretty much an average salesperson. But 10 years ago, I remember this one day I was walking into a sales meeting while looking at my paycheck. I sat down in my chair, opened my check up, and my face had just turned bright red. I slumped down, trying to hide. I was horrified, just absolutely horrified. The only thing I could think of were my two kids, how I was going to keep the lights on, and how I was going to keep my job. And then I remember, like it was crystal clear, I was being called out by the sales manager to tell the entire department how many sales I had for the month, or realistically, more like didn't have. And so I was just completely embarrassed. I was demotivated. My performance for the rest of the entire weekend was shot. And the worst thing about that day is when I got home that night, walked through the front door, my wife greeted me and told me that our water had been turned off. And so if you're in sales right now, I'm hoping this morning episode here, or morning money motivation, will get your head right and pointed in the right direction. Hey, look, Grant, over the past 40 years, has put together just a ton of amazing resources. And it's just great that he had the foresight to be able to document everything he was doing, which led him to becoming, worth over $1 billion today. If you don't know who Grant is, if you're new into business, or you're new, or you've been in sales for a while, but you haven't really ventured out of what you've been used to, or maybe it is that you're just not paying attention. Grant Cardone is an internationally renowned speaker. He's the author of many best-selling books, sales and business books. He holds over $7 billion in real estate assets with Cardone Capital. He's been the star on the TV show Undercover Billionaire 2, season 2, and The Turnaround King. And he's a contributor on most cable news network shows, and author of articles on other business publications. Forbes listed him as one of the top 25 influencers to watch. And if it weren't for his material, I wouldn't be anywhere near where I am today. Plain and simple. It was about 2 weeks later, after I remembered that I walked into that sales meeting, and being embarrassed the way I did. And I was talking to a coworker who had not been selling for as long as I had. And so I asked him, "What are you doing differently? Because you really seem to be taking off, and you really seem to be shooting through the roof here." And he turned me on to one of Grant's audiobooks, and I got one, and I listened to it over and over again. And then that led into 2 and 3 and then 4. Eventually, I was going to online webinars, and then I got involved with Cardone University, that I paid for out of my pocket for the next year and a half. Shortly after that, at the end of 2016, out of a team of about 45, 50 sales associates, I finished as one of the top producers in the store. And then the following year, halfway through the year, I was promoted into sales management. And it's because of the teachings of Grant's material. It's because of the strategies. They're ethical, they're simple to understand, they're effective, and they're transparent. And so getting to work in the morning and starting your day off right is huge. And so I want to talk about how to take 10x in business and life. And on February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, I'm putting on my half-day phone sales mastery. Actually, it's Grant's half-day phone sales mastery workshop. I'm putting it on. I'm teaching and coaching on his phone sales strategies. Grant built two out of his 16 companies just off of cold calls alone. And those companies do well in excess of hundreds of millions of dollars a year. And that was all the foundation of that was getting really good on the phone. And so once I understood the phone and follow up and how important it was, that's when I really started seeing my sales escalate. And I've never turned the corner and looked back. Once you understand the information, it's like riding a bike. You understand the information, and then you implement the information, you use it as you learn it. And then before you know it, it becomes a second nature because you're drilling, you're practicing, and you're rehearsing this information over and over and over again. Well, so on February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, if you go to thehardknockstate.com, scroll just right below the banner, you'll see the instructions on how to get your free ticket to the Phone Sales Mastery Half-Day Workshop. It's on a Saturday. It's at 10 o'clock. So you get through the workshop, and then you'll have the rest of the weekend to take care of your family's needs. But I guarantee you go through this workshop, you will go back into the office on Monday morning or Sunday, and you'll be a completely different sales professional. Most of us are really good, and I truly believe most of us are good face-to-face with a walk-in customer. We're able to greet them professionally, most of us. Most of us are able to actively listen to our customers and take them through the sales process, find the right product or service that's going to solve their needs, and then put a proposal in front of them. But it's what happens after the point when they make the decision not to purchase that same day. What do you do after that? Well, 48% of salespeople never make the first follow-up phone call to begin with. And out of those who do, I think the statistic is something like 72% never make it past the third follow-up attempt. They just run out of things to say to the customer. So we're going to get you really good on being able to make the follow-up phone calls. And because the reality is you're not going to be able to close that deal until you've made the fifth to the 12th attempt. But getting creative and knowing what to say and being able to follow up with these customers will allow you to get to the 5th to the 12th attempt in order for them to revisit and re-see the value in the product or service that you're offering. We're going to teach you how to take an incoming phone call. There's many different types of incoming phone calls. We're going to tell you all about those, how to take that call, how to control that call, and how to lead that call into setting an appointment to where they're confirming their own appointment and locking it in. We're going to teach you prospecting, warm calls, closing, cold calling. We're going to teach you how to get past the gatekeeper on the cold call, and then cold call objections, and much, much more. Why would you want to take the time out of your Saturday to study and listen to this material I'm putting on the half-day workshop? Well, quite simply, it's proven world-class sales strategies that Grant's developed and implemented for the past 40 years. His sales staff uses this same material when they're following up with all of Grant's customers. But why me? Because I'm a 20-year sales veteran with 6 years in sales management in a training and coaching role. I've been experienced in business for over 30 years. I've climbed the ladder in 2 different industries, so I'm experienced. I've owned 4 companies myself, with the first one starting when I was 13 years old. I'm certified by Grant Cardone's team to deliver the 10X sales coaching and training material to you. And I practice what I preach. I've used Grant's material on a daily basis. I have used Grant's material in the past. It's what's made me successful. And anytime I feel like I'm hitting a roadblock or a barrier, all I have to do is rely back on the material that I've learned, go through it again. Maybe I've missed something, or maybe it allows me to see the steps that I'm missing, or maybe that, as we all do this as sales professionals, especially if you've been selling for a while. You tend to streamline the process a little bit, and you find areas that you can try to make yourself more efficient. But really, what we end up doing is we're just cutting corners, and so that's what we're going to teach you on the half day phone mastery workshop. Now, when you sign up for that for free, you're also going to get access to my private Facebook sales professional networking group. Not only that, you'll get the digital download, follow along and study at home 10x sales professional workbook for the phone sales mastery course. If you upgrade for only $19.95 to the VIP package, you get just the world of opportunities opened up for you. You're going to get 30 days of weekly group coaching. That's 4 individual 45-minute sessions where we go over one of Grant's 9 10x sales professional courses. So you will also get the digital workbook along with those courses as well. So you're going to get 5 workbooks for you to refer back to throughout however long you have it stored, that download stored on your device. And you can look back 10 years from now and go over that material again. So you can always keep rehearsing, practicing, and drilling it. You are also going to get 2 of these classy contract closing pens. These are nice metal pens. They've got a nice weight to them, so they feel good in the hand. A good quality pen when you're closing contracts will leave a lasting impression on your customer, right? And so with the fine tip ballpoint pen, it makes the signing process so enjoyable. It really does. And if you close on a touch screen or a tablet, the tip of it is a stylus. So you can close with hard ink, or you can close with the stylus. But I really, again, this live stream, this show is really about getting your head right. It's not necessarily about money itself, right? This is not a show on finances and the markets, and whether it's personal finances or business finance. This is a morning show on motivation and getting your head right about money. And so we're going to take a look at Grant's massive 10x actions in business and in life. Never lower your target ever, Grant says. Increase your actions. And so what are the 6 steps of massive action? Well, number 1, we have to understand that success is our duty. Number 2, we need to realize that there is no shortage of success. Just because you have 1 or 2 top producers in your store, your showroom, or your office does not mean that there's not enough success to go around to where everybody can achieve and run at the same levels as those few individuals. And that goes the same whether you're in business and you own a business. Think about grocery stores for a minute. Grocery stores are just amazing. There's a grocery in most major metropolitan areas. There's a grocery store all within 2 or 3 blocks from each other, and there's 5 or 6 of them. And so do you think that they have it in their mind that there's a shortage of success out there? No, they understand that not everybody's going to like shopping at the store down the street. And so they understand that there's massive amounts of people. They do market research on finding out exactly how many loaves of bread, how many gallons of milk, and how many pounds of bananas they're going to be able to sell out of that store when they open their doors. And so if one store is there and they've done the market research and they've spent the money to break ground and start pouring a foundation and creating a grocery store, and other stores go in all around it, those other stores are relying on that first store's market research and their own, and they understand that there's enough people per capita to where there's going to be no shortage of success. So the third rule, or the third degree of massive action, is assume control for everything. And so This is something that a lot of us just don't do. We think it's up to the gods. We think it's up to the manager. We think it's up to the customer. We think it's up to uh, everybody else has control over the sale. Everybody else has control over our income. But the reality is if you're in retail commission sales, you are the one who has control over your income. You have control over the sale. You have control over everything. And when we adopt the philosophy of assuming control over everything, our all of a sudden these little weights that are on our shoulders, these little things that keep are on our back that keep lowering us down, dragging us back, these just tend to lift off. And once you assume control for everything, assume responsibility, there's nowhere else to point the finger but you. And so when that happens, the only thing you're going to do is learn to get better. The fourth degree of massive action is fear is an indication of growth. Fear is not an indicator that you're going in the wrong direction. In fact, just the opposite is true. Fear is an indicator that you're moving toward the right direction. It's because we're breaking out of our comfort zone. We're going into uncharted territories, if you will. And so when we experience these butterflies in our stomach, when we're going to go pick up the phone to follow up with the customer who's already told us no 2 or 3 times, but we know there's more information that would lead to them to making a more educated decision. Well, that fear is the indicator that you need to pick up the phone and make the phone call. That fear is an indicator that you need to move toward that person. And it doesn't matter what it is. If you're hey, let's say you've been at your company for some period of time, and you've been really working your buns off, and it's time to go ask the boss for a raise. Well, that fear, those butterflies again you experience, that's an indicator that you need to walk into the boss's office and you need to ask them for a raise. You need to ask for a moment of their time. The fifth degree of massive action is time management is a myth. Okay, what we want to do is we want to find a way to compress time. We Time management. Hey, look, we get busy throughout our day, and yes, this doesn't mean that we don't follow a schedule and we don't line out our day and we don't line out what's a priority and what we need to get done. This just typically means that we need to find a way not to manage time, but we need to find a way to multiply time. And this can be done by getting more done in the time that you allot throughout the day. So let's say you and your coworker both sit down to make phone calls today, and you lot out 40 minutes. Well, if you're able to get 30 or 40 phone calls done in those 40 minutes compared to the other guy who gets 10 phone calls done in 40 minutes, you've essentially multiplied time and you've gotten 4 times as much done as your coworker in the allotted time. So time management is a myth. We need to figure out how we can get more done in the time that we allot. Now, the sixth degree of massive action is being omnipresent. This just simply means to be everywhere at all places of time. And so if you think, posting on social media once or twice a day is just going to get the job done for you, if you're in business and you're trying to get the word out and you have a minimal marketing and advertising budget, and you're relying on word of mouth, you're relying on, guerrilla marketing, you're relying on emails and snail mail, and making the cold calls, whether it's over the phone or by a personal visit. We need to understand that our biggest enemy, other than doubt, self-doubt, our biggest enemy is that nobody knows us. We are so far in obscurity that it's like taking a bucket of water out of the Pacific Ocean. You can take as many buckets out of the water out of the Pacific Ocean as you want, but nobody's going to know that there was even one bucket missing, right? And so it's the same with when we're trying to get known into the marketplace. If we do one item just once, nobody's ever going to catch on. We're never going to break out. But if we do massive amounts of actions repeated over an extended period of time, then we may, if we're lucky and if we've taken enough action, we may break out of the marketplace to where people start taking notice. Think about Coca-Cola, think about Pepsi, think about these major companies. Everywhere you turn, you see an advertisement for them. They are truly omnipresent. They are everywhere at all periods of the time. Of the day. They're there during the night. They're there during the day. They're there when you turn on the radio. They're there when you look at the TV. They're there when you look at any type of publication. They have an advertising space there. Okay, that is what's being omnipresent. Now, you don't think that the advertising for Coca-Cola or Pepsi or these major companies like that, you don't think that they're saturating the market, right? That we don't think that. We don't think that they're oversaturated. Okay, we just think of it as just throughout the day, just normally, and we really don't think more about it past that. What there are degrees of action. And degrees of action. Now that we've talked about the 6 levels of massive action, there are 4 degrees of action we really need to understand. And so what these actions are, and I'm going to tell you what the most dangerous level of this action is and where we actually need to be in order to move forward and advance either in our career, our job, or our business. So the first degree of action is doing nothing. It's no action. This is you just lounging on the couch, being a complete vegetable, just staring off at the TV. This takes 0 effort. You're doing absolutely nothing, right? Although breathing is an action, breathing and sight and all those things are in action. If we can classify this as the first degree, we'll just put this into the doing nothing bucket, okay? The second degree of action is the retreat from action. This is where you see something and it scares you and you back off from it. You shy away from it. You know that taking some kind of action is going to move you toward where you need to be, but instead of doing that, we go backward. Okay, that is the second degree of action. 20% of people take that amount of action. The next degree of action, this is where 50% of people fall into this category, is we take normal levels of action, just completely average levels of action. And this is the most dangerous level of action. Why? Because we think we're taking enough action to really make a difference. We think we're taking enough action to really get ahead in life. We think we're taking enough action to move forward in our profession. But the reality is we're just taking normal levels of action. We're not doing anything great. We're not really, working up to our full potential that we know deep down that we could truly run at for a period of time in order to advance. But we trick ourselves. We get comfortable with our house. We get comfortable with the food in the cupboard. We get comfortable with nice clothes on our back, the nice automobiles, and we're comfortable just doing the status quo just to get by. The fourth degree of action, and this is the action that we need to operate with going into work today, not just going into work, the office today, the showroom today, the store today, but this is the degree of action we need to take in all areas of our life. And the fourth degree of action is massive action. By taking massive action consistently, we can guarantee and assure ourselves, we force ourselves into the marketplace. We force ourselves into advancement. The more action we take, the more people are going to respond to us. If you're at work and you're making 20 phone calls a day, trying to follow up, and you're spending all day in between appointments, and maybe you have 1 or 2 of those scattered throughout the day, but the rest of the time we're sending out 10, 20 emails, we're making 10, 20 phone calls, maybe we're sending out 5 or 6 text messages, and we're definitely not shooting any video. Well, those are normal levels of action. Now you want to increase that and 10x those levels of action, do it. And all of a sudden you'll see, you'll create more appointments, You'll have people showing up at the same point of time. You're going to create new problems, which is exactly what we want. And we're going to, our multiplied amounts of efforts will turn out to be multiplied results in a positive way for us. So 1000% take massive levels of action. And on February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, it's my half-day phone sales mastery workshop. I'm going to teach you how to master the most important tool in your business. This is all grants material from his 10x Sales Professional Phone Sales Mastery course. There's going to be breaks and exercises that we're going to partake in. So this is going to be an interactive. It is virtual. It is over Zoom, but it's going to be you're going to get a follow along sales phone mastery workbook. So not only are we going to teach you how to master the most important tool in your business, which is the phone, we're going to teach you how to handle the incoming sales call or any incoming calls. We're going to teach you the different types of incoming calls, how to handle them, how to control that call, how to get better at and set more appointments, how to lock in those appointments and convert the appointments to increase your appointment show rate, which in turn is going to increase your close rate, which in turn, if done frequently, repetitively over time, which is exactly what we want to do, will increase your overall income. And so most of us, if we could just find a way to sell 3 to 6 more units per month, it will mean a completely different lifestyle change. And when 76% of US Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, just selling 3 to 6 more units per month can benefit everybody. We're going to teach you prospecting. We're going to teach you how to make warm calls, how to make cold calls. We're going to teach you closing. We're going to teach you how to get past the gatekeeper when making a cold call. We're going to teach you how to overcome objections and much, much more. So that's February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Not only do you get to partake in the workshop, the boot camp, you also get the downloadable workbook. Plus, you'll get access to my private Facebook sales professional networking group. Now, if you want to upgrade and get 1,000 times more than what you get with the free ticket, or what you want to do is you want to upgrade to the VIP package. It's only $19.95. When you upgrade to the VIP package, not only do you get everything you get with the free ticket, but then you also get 30 days of my Revenue Rocket weekly group virtual coaching. And so that's 4 sessions. They're 45 minutes long. And again, we cover other topics, different topics each week. We cover a different topic out of Grant Cardone's 10x Sales Professional courses. You'll get additional workbooks with each course and each week that we study on that. There is time left over for a Q&A, so we can make sure you have a good quality of the understanding of the material, and that you'll know how to go out and implement that that same day or the very next day when you get back to work. In addition to that, I'm going to also give you 2 of my classy contract closing ballpoint pens. These are a metal pen. They're a nice quality metal pen. They've got a nice weight and feel to it. They're gunmetal gray with just beautiful silver accents. It's a fine tip ballpoint pen, which will leave, when you close with a good quality pen, you really truly leave a lasting impression. And the top of it is a stylus, so if you close over a tablet or a touch screen, you can use this pen. It will be very nice for your customer to sign. If you need hard ink, the fine tip ballpoint pen just makes the signing process that much more enjoyable. So you get the 2 pens. That's a $19.95 cent value. Free shipping on these pens, by the way, at the $19.95. If you just wanted to order the pen separately, it costs you $20. The 30-day weekly group coaching, the Revenue Rocket weekly group coaching, that's a $395 value. When I put on the Phone Mastery half-day workshop in person, the tickets could sell for as much as $1,995. $195 for the VIP upgrade, but you get all of that for $19.95. Or you could just get the free ticket and forego the free coaching and forego the pens. Again, that is February 11th, Saturday, February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Go to thehardknockstate.com for your tickets. We're talking about getting your head right about money for when you get into the office today. Maybe you're already at the office and you're getting a little bit of call reluctance, picking up the phone and calling your customer. Maybe you have a little bit of time before your first appointment rolls in, but maybe you're commuting to work and listening to this through your car audio system. Or maybe you're sitting at home, maybe you're working more of the afternoon shift and you're just getting your head right, and you thought this would be a good way to motivate yourself about making money today. Well, this is a morning money motivation. This is the first episode. We're talking about 10x massive actions. And so we talked about the levels of actions. We talked about the 4 different types of actions. Now we're going to talk a little bit about making excuses. You know, my uncle's a general contractor, and he told me when I was very young, and it instilled it in my head, that an excuse is nothing more than a well-fabricated lie. Okay, Grant says excuses are never the reason why you did or didn't do something. They are just a revision of the facts you make up in order to help yourself feel better about what happened or what didn't happen. And so an excuse is something we make up to justify our actions. What is fear? Fear isn't bad or something to avoid. It's something you want to seek out and embrace. Okay, some of you might be thinking, okay, this guy's off the wall right now, but it's true. Fear isn't anything bad, and we need to seek out and embrace fear. Fear means we're getting out of our comfort zone. Fear is actually a sign that you're doing what's needed to move in the right direction of where you want to go. What about criticism? What if we put our face out there, we break through, we push past the fear, we break out there? What do people criticize us? Well, criticism is a sign of success. In fact, there's 4 different levels of what we go through when we're breaking out into the marketplace and we're really taking massive action. The first sign of criticism we need to get through is we need to get attention. Getting attention and getting known, trying to become omnipresent as much as possible is what we're after. But we're going to get criticism when we get through that. And then after criticism, we're going to get some hate. People are just, maybe get fed up with the amount of action that we're taking. After that comes admiration. First, they're going to criticize you. First, they're going to ignore you. Then they're going to criticize you. Then they're going to hate on you. And then after that, they're going to admire you. And they're going to admire the amount of action and how you not only took 10x the action, but you did it for an extended period of time that broke you out of obscurity. How to get started with 10x? If you're just getting going this morning, again, my name is Greg Nelson. I'm a Grant Cardone licensee. I'm certified to deliver 10x sales, coaching, and training material to you. I've been an automotive and just a regular sales professional for over 20 years. Been in business for over 30 years. I've owned 4 businesses. The first one I started when I was 13 years old. And so, look, it wasn't until I plugged into Grant Cardone's material 10 years ago that I really, my eyes opened up and I really started operating at 10x levels and taking massive action. And through his sales strategies that are proven, that's when I really started to shine and my sales started to increase. And that's what we're trying to do for you this morning, is we're trying to get your head right about money. So how do you get started with these 10x massive actions? Okay. Well, number 1, write your goals down and never reduce them as you write them. So whatever that big goal, that big idea, that desire you have in your head, we want to commit that to writing. And once we're writing it down, we want to write it down as if it's already happened or as if it's currently being taken care of. But then when we're writing it down, we never We never want to reduce that goal or that vision, that desire we had. We never want to reduce that and move it backward. Okay. Uh, number number two is we don't want to get lost in the mechanics or the detail of how we're going to achieve that goal. The our intention behind the goal is senior to the mechanics of how we're going to get it done. Number three, we want to ask ourselves, what actions can we take today? What actions can we do today to move us forward towards those goals? Okay. Number four, regardless of what your goals are, regardless of what your dream is that you're writing down, or how they make you feel, do them. To take the actions. Number five, don't prematurely value the action. And number six, those actions on a basis. Repeat those actions every single day. That's how you get started on your new 10x journey. That's how you're going to get started today. Do that little exercise real quick right before you start engaging with your customers. Get your head right about the money that you need to make today. Okay. And if we take this day by day and we repeat this every single day, pretty soon we've developed a habit. And once it becomes a habit and we keep doing it, then it will become second nature. And that's what we want to get. We want to be able to get you from taking average levels of action, average thinking. We want you to set bigger and better goals than you've ever set before. We want you to find a way you can take action to move you towards that goal. And then we want to have you repeat that process over and over again. So here's another 10x assignment that you could do throughout the day. One, you can make a list of 25 people that could change your life. Two, you could break that an hour into 15-minute chunks and see how many contacts you can make in that hour. Three, then you want to build this out through your entire day. Write out the names of 5 people you need to spend less time with. Okay. Realistically, if there's we need to figure out what's holding us back, and where we're thinking we're taking massive level of actions. Maybe it's standing around the water cooler. Maybe it's if there's a desk in the showroom that everybody huddles up at, all the sales guys huddle up at, and you find yourself spending 5, 10, 15, 30 minutes there chit-chatting and shooting the breeze with the other sales peeps, right? Well, maybe we need to cut that out. Maybe it's smoking cigarettes. Maybe it's taking extended lunch breaks. Maybe it's and not doing anything productive with that time. You're not in front of a customer. You're just sitting at the drive-through at McDonald's, right? Well, if there's people around you that are bad influences, let's get them out. Let's get them away from us. That doesn't mean we don't dislike the people. That doesn't mean that we're removing them permanently out of our life. But right now, we're just not going to be around the average people. Okay, so cut 5 of those people out, and then write out 5 of those productive things you need to do to eliminate. You need to eliminate and write out your 10x sales activities and targets today. So we're going to write out the 5 people that we need to spend less time with and the 5 things that we need to spend less time doing. But then we're going to write out our 10x sales and activity targets that will move us towards hitting our goal. And so, look, on February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time, it's my phone sales mastery workshop. If you've been following this live stream so far this morning, then you've heard the pitch. But my only pitch is trying to help you become a better sales associate, a true professional, and to where you can master your craft. Okay, that's my only goal for you. When I left the dealership, when I started off in this sales training, sales coaching endeavor, it really became my mission. It's truly almost like a spiritual mission, if you will, that from now until the end of my career, it is my mission to help 10 million people in the United States live a successful life through a rewarding career in sales. So if you're in sales and you can't really seem to gain any traction. You can't really seem to find to get any momentum built up behind the actions that you take, reach out to me. I'm more than happy to help, because the hard knock state is a tough mental place to be. And helping you get out of the hard knock state is what I do. And it starts on February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time. Go to thehardknockstate.com, get your free ticket. Not only with the free admission to the half-day phone mastery workshop, you're going to learn Grant's phone mastery sales strategies. This is his course. You're going to get the digital follow along and study at home 10x Sales Professional course workbook. You're going to get access to a private Facebook sales professional networking group. Upgrade for only $19.95. Get 2 of my classy contract closing ballpoint pens. These are a nice metal pen. They have a nice feel to them. They're a fine tip ballpoint pen. So it will just make the signature process that much more enjoyable. You're going to get 30 days of my weekly Revenue Rocket group coaching, where we cover a different topic each week, one of Grant's 9 sales professional 10x courses. So you'll get the additional workbooks with those courses as well. Again, that's thehardknockstate.com. Scroll just below the banner. You'll see the directions for the free ticket. If you want the VIP upgrade, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the product page. Click on the VIP upgrade, and we take all major credit cards. We'll email you a link for the to access the workshop. We'll email you a link to download the workbook, and we'll email you a link to the Facebook group, plus the key to get in the classroom for the weekly group coaching. And so this has been morning money motivation. I hope you found this beneficial. I hope this was able to help you get your mind right about taking the right amount of actions today, so you can go out and you can absolutely kill it. And then hopefully we'll see you February 11th at 10 a.m. Pacific time during the half-day phone sales mastery workshop. If you want to know again what we're going to cover, we're going to teach you how to master the most important tool in your business. We're going to teach you how to handle the incoming call and how to control that call. We're going to teach you how to set more appointments, increase your appointment show rate, which will in turn increase your closing rate, which in turn will increase your income. We're going to teach you prospecting. We're going to teach you warm calls, closing, cold calling. We're going to teach you as the gatekeeper when you're cold calling. We're going to teach you calling objections, how to overcome call objections, and much, much more. Again, that's thehardknockstate.com. Thank you. This is Morning Money Motivation. And if you're been tuning in to my live streams, we'll